There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind. There's something special about your love. I want it all the time. You will always be my inspiration. No one makes me feel the sensation. Don't play hard to get my temptation. Got to have you now.
Hello my loves, welcome back to another video. Today I'm very excited for today's video because I'm going to be showing you guys the cutest toddler little dress, and also today I'm very excited to announce that this video is a collaboration with the amazing one from KnitcroAddict. So I'm going to be leaving all of her details down in the description below, the first line, so you can find very easily. And she's going to be showing you guys how to crochet a very cute headband that goes amazingly with this dress right here. So now I'm going to be passing you guys to One. She's going to be explaining to you guys a little bit about her channel and her work as well, and also what she's going to be doing for you guys as our collaboration.
Hey guys, my name is One. I'm a designer behind KnitcroAddict. Our channel is all about crochet and knitting, but most of my stuff is crochet, and I share new video tutorial and written pattern every week. If you don't want to miss out, please subscribe on our channel at KnitcroAddict. For today's collaboration with Bruna, I'm gonna show you how to make this beautiful 3D flower headband. This is very cute and very easy to make. I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
So I'm going to be using a 4mm hook, a small pair of scissors, measuring tape, stitch markers, buttons. I'm using these little flower ones right here, so 4 buttons. You will need a tapestry needle and a normal needle to sew the buttons, so make sure that the other needle fits the buttonholes. And I'm also going to be using 2 shades of pink, so these 2 right here, and I'm going to be linking everything in the description below for you guys to check it out. And I got this dress right here for a 1.5-year-old, and I'm going to be also using this dress as a template to follow all of the measurements and create my crochet dress out of this one. The first thing we are going to be doing is measuring all around here the neckline of the actual dress. So for my dress, it's 43 centimeters. So what we are going to be doing is creating a slip knot, and then we are going to be chaining a chain that is long enough to cover all that 43 centimeters that we just measured. For my one, I'm going to be doing a chain of 60 as I'm using a DK yarn, but then of course you're going to be measuring for the centimeters that you need. So basically we are going to be dividing this neckline right here of the dress kind of like this. So we are going to be having here the sides, the front, the other side, and also the back right here. So we are going to be having here 4 sides, and we are going to be creating increases on all of the 4 sides right here. So we are going to be holding this very last stitch in place, and we are going to be creating 3 chains right here. And then into that 4th chain, we are going to be creating our first double crochet. So this first row right here, it's going to be only with double crochets, and then the next row we are going to be doing with increases. So you can go ahead and finish all this row here with the double crochets, and then I'll show you guys the next row. So this is how it looks like, the very first row. So now I'm just going to be showing you guys exactly where we are going to be placing the increases. So we are going to be chaining 3. We are going to be turning the project, and then we are going to be creating 10 double crochets for this very first part right here. When you get into the stitch number 11, we are going to be creating an increase. So 2 double crochets all in that same stitch, chain 1, and then 2 more double crochets. So now here for the side, we are going to be creating 9 double crochets. So into stitch number 10 right here for the side, we are going to be creating the increase. So 2 double crochets, a chain of 1, and 2 double crochets. So for the front right here, we are going to be doing 20 double crochets. And then on stitch number 21, from this point we are going to be creating another increase. So 2 double crochets, a chain of 1 and 2 double crochets. So now we are going to be repeating the same on the other side, so 9 double crochets. Into the next stitch right here, it's going to be another increase, so 2 double crochets, a chain of 1 and 2 double crochets. So just repeating everything that we've created on the other side. And then now we are just going to finish it off here with double crochets. So for this side right here is going to be 9 double crochets, and on the other side, as you know already, it's going to be 10 double crochets, and that's just because we want one of the sides to overlap the other so we can add the buttons to one of the sides. So basically the buttons is gonna go into the row that it has more double crochets. So as you can see, this is how it looks like, and we are just on the second row. So for the next one, we are going to be chaining 3, turning the project, and creating the double crochets on top of double crochets all the way until you get to the increase, to the chain 1 space. And also make sure that on the 2 double crochets here from the shell, you create the double crochets on top of those double crochets, because that's gonna increase here this part. And then on top of the chain 1 space, we are going to be creating another increase, so 2 double crochets, a chain of 1 and 2 double crochets. And then you're just going to be following here into the other side as well, and then I'm just going to be finishing off this row, and then I will show you guys what to do next. So this is how the third row looks like, and I'm going to be now continuing with my rows until I have the sizing that I need, and when I come back I'll let you know how many rows I did. So right here I have 4 rows completed, as you can see, with the increases. And as you can see right here, I've started already the next row, but just the beginning, because we are going to be doing a little bit different. So we are going to be basically making the increase a little bit smaller. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that now. So we are going to be following exactly the same as before, but when you get to the chain 1 space, we are going to be changing the increase. When you get into the chain 1 space, we are going to be doing 1 double crochet, a chain of 1 and 1 double crochet. So this is basically going to be slowing here the increase of the first part of the top, but if you need it bigger, then you can continue with the previous increase right here. So now here for the sleeves, we are going to be folding and finding the 2 middle stitches. So we are going to be skipping here the 2 from the increases, as you can see right here. So skipping those 2, we're just going to be counting so we can find the middle, and you're going to be finding the 2 middle stitches here from the sleeves right at the top on the shoulders. So these 2 are the stitches that I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to be placing a stitch marker right here into the first one, so I know that I have to do the decrease into these 2 right here. So now I'm just going to be continuing with the double crochets until I get to that stitch marker, and into that stitch marker we are going to be creating a decrease. So you're going to be creating the first part of the double crochet, and you're gonna go through the very first 2 loops in the hook and keeping the last one in the hook, and you're going to be creating the same into the other one and going through the first 2 loops in the hook. Now as you can see, we have 3 loops in the hook, and you're going to be yarning over all of the 3 loops together. So now you're going to be placing the stitch marker back into the one that we've created here, the decrease. And now I'm going to be continuing right here with the double crochets until the chain 1 space. And now remember that we are doing a different increase right here for the corners, so make sure that you do 1 double crochet, a chain of 1 and 1 double crochet. So now we are going to be repeating all of the same steps all the way around, and also make sure that when you get into the other sleeves, you create the same decrease as you created into the other one. As you can see, I'm here into my other sleeves, and I'm creating the decrease right in the middle on top of the shoulders and returning here the stitch marker into that decrease. And now I'm just going to be repeating all again in one more row, and I'll meet you guys one stitch before this stitch marker right here, so I can show you guys the next decrease that we are going to be doing. So when you get one stitch before this stitch marker right here, we are going to be creating another decrease. So as you can see right here, I'm just going to be creating my next decrease, and if you need to create more rows, make sure that you return the stitch marker into the decrease that you've just created, and then you can just continue now all the way around, and make sure that you do exactly the same into the other sleeves. Make sure that you do make the decrease into the other side. And I've also created the same increase as you can see right here, so 1 double crochet, a chain of 1 and 1 double crochet. So these are all my rows here completed, and for the different increase right here and also the decrease on top of the shoulders, I've created 3 rows in total. So in total for this part right here, we have 7 rows. So now we are going to be stopping here with the increases and everything, and what we are going to be doing is closing both sides on the bottoms. So you're basically going to be connecting here with the stitch marker chain 1 with chain 1 on those 2 increases, as you can see. So you're going to be connecting them, and you want to make sure that you place here the stitch marker connecting both increases right here into both sides, and then right here we are going to be connecting the parts, and I'm going to be showing you guys that as well. So now you can go ahead and follow all of the same steps, and I'm going to be creating right here chain of 3 and then continue with my double crochets all the way until we reach here the stitch marker. So you can go ahead and now remove here the stitch marker. So we are going to be creating a double crochet right on top of the chain 1 space, and then you're gonna get the other side of the sleeves right here, right on the chain 1 space on the bottom, and we are going to be creating a double crochet right on top of the chain 1 space. Make sure that your yarn here it's nice and tight. And as you can see, this is how it looks like. It's nicely and connected together. So the sleeves here for a 1.5 baby, it's around 18 centimeters. So my one is a little bit bigger, but because I'm going to be adding a little finishing around, so that works perfectly. So my one, it's around here 10 centimeters. So now you can just continue now here with the double crochets, and I'll show you guys the next stitch marker. So when you get into the chain 1 space, we are going to be creating a double crochet right here into the chain 1 space, and then grabbing the other side, the other increase right here, and then a double crochet into the chain 1 space. And then now I'm just going to be continuing right here with the double crochets all the way down. So for the next row right here, I'm going to be chaining 3 and then going all the way, and then I'll meet you guys right underneath here the armpits, because we are going to be doing a decrease. So once you get into the 2 stitches under here the armpits, we are going to be doing the same decrease as we've created for the shoulders. So you can go ahead and do that, and then we are going to be continuing here all the way to the next armpit. So when you get right into the 2 stitches again from the other side of the armpits, you're going to be making another decrease, and then that's just going to be making this part of the dress a little bit smaller for the waist. So now I'm just going to be continuing here all of the rows that I have to do with the decreases under the armpits, and also the double crochets just going around. I'm going to be creating right here 4 rows in total with the decreases and the double crochets, and then I'll show you guys the next step. So I just finished here all of the 4 rows here with the decreases here under the armpit and also all of the double crochets. So this is how it looks like, as you can see. And if I measure here for you guys, this part right here folded as a dress, it's around 26 centimeters, as you can see, and you can do it smaller and bigger if you prefer. So now we are going to be starting here with the skirt of the dress, and I created here a pattern that is super easy to follow, and it's very pretty as well. So right here we are going to be creating a few little squares right here for the waist, and that we can pass a little string around the waist and create a little bow. So we are going to be chaining 4, and then we are going to be skipping the very first one, the second here, and into the third one we are going to be creating a double crochet. Then you're going to be chaining 1, skipping 1, and into the next one a double crochet. Chain 1, skipping 1, and into the next one a double crochet. So we are just going to be following the same steps right here all the way through this row, and then I'll show you guys right at the end. So when you get right at the end, you're going to be chaining 1 and going through the very last stitch right here and creating a double crochet. So now we are going to be starting here with the actual pattern of the skirt of the dress. So if you guys want to work in rounds, you can, so make sure that you do connect somehow here the waist of the dress going around. I don't really like working around, so I decided to kind of create just like going kind of back and forth until I have the size of the skirt I want, and then I'm going to be sewing right at the back. So you're going to be here creating a chain of 3, going to be turning the project, and right into the first chain 1 space right here into the first square we are going to be creating 2 double crochets, a chain of 2, and 2 more double crochets into this first square right here. And then into the next square we are going to be creating a double crochet, and then into the next one we are going to be creating another shell, so 2 double crochets, a chain of 2, and 2 double crochets. And now we are just going to be repeating the same all the way down, so 1 double crochet into the next square, and then into the next one a shell. And then for the next row I'm going to be showing you guys how we're going to be increasing the skirt right here, so it's going to be nice and full for the skirt, kind of like a skater skirt kind of style. So when you get right at the end, you're just going to be creating a double crochet, as you can see, just into the very last stitch. So now for the next row we are going to be chaining 3 and turning the project, and every time you get on top of a shell you're going to be creating another shell. So right on top of the chain 2 space we are going to be creating 2 double crochets, a chain of 2, and 2 double crochets. So basically shell on top of shell. So now every time we move into the next row we are going to be increasing 1 double crochet on top of the previous double crochet. So we've started right here with 1, so right on top of this 1 double crochet right here we are going to be creating 2 double crochets, and then into the next row we are going to be doing 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, increasing all the way until the length that you want. So every time you get into the shell you're going to be creating shell on top of shell, and when you get on top of the double crochets you want to make sure that you increase 1 double crochet right in the middle of that double crochet group here into every single row. So as you can see, into my next double crochet right here I'm going to be creating 2 double crochets on top of that double crochet right here from the previous row. And now I'm just going to be repeating this all the way down, and once you have created here the last shell you're going to go into the very last double crochet or the chain 3 that we've created right at the beginning of the row. We are going to be creating our last double crochet right on top of that, and then for the next row we are going to be chaining 3, and then we are going to be turning the project and then shell on top of shell. And then when you get into the double crochets, now we have 2 in the previous row, so now we need to increase 1 more again. So now we have to do 3 double crochets, so 1 into the very first one, run right in the middle of the 2 double crochets, and then 1 right at the end of the double crochet. So this is basically how you're going to be doing that. So every time you get right in the middle of that group of those double crochets, you're going to be creating 2 double crochets into that middle little group of the double crochets, and that's going to be basically opening the skirt, and is going to be making it rounder and rounder every time you go up a row and add a double crochet right in the middle of those double crochets. So now I'm just going to be continuing here with my rows. For this part right here I'm going to be doing 15 rows. So when I have those completed I'm going to be coming back and I'll show you guys what to do next. So as you can see guys, I have all of the rows here for the length of my skirt completed. I have 15 rows. going down right here, and I also have 15 double crochets on the very last row right here. So as you can see, I've done here 10 rows with the dark pink, and then 5 here I've changed here to my light pink because I wanted to have this nice edging right here. And this is something that you guys can decide if you guys want to do. If you guys want to change the color, you can just do one color all the way down and just do a little edging, just the very last row in a different color. And I'm just going to show you guys how I change my yarn here into the next color that I want to use. It's the same method that I did here for this row right here. I'm going to go back to my dark pink, putting your hook through the loop right here and making as tight as possible. And then you're going to be cutting a little bit of this yarn. It's not a lot, just a little bit, so you can actually make a little knot. And then you're gonna get the color that you want to transition to. We are going to be making a knot right here, very close to the hook. Move it right close here to the hook, as you can see. And then with this yarn right here, we are going to be making a knot on this side right here of this transitioning yarn. So you want to also make as close as possible to the previous knot. Just like that, as you can see. And what we are going to be doing is just pulling the hook right here and the transitioning yarn. And the knots will be basically joining right here, and that's basically it. That's how we do the invisible knot. So now you can go ahead and just cut the two ends. You can cut very close and it's not going to unravel, so you don't have to worry about that. So we are going to be creating right here a chain of 3. We're going to be turning the project, and right on top of the chain 2 space, right in the middle of the shell, we are going to be creating a shell, but with a little picot right in the middle instead of the chain 2. So you're going to be creating 2 double crochets, and then right here we are going to be creating a chain of 3. You're gonna go back into the very first chain, but right at the back of the chain you're gonna go through that little loop at the back, and you're going to be slip stitching that in place. So that's basically a little picot. And now we are going to be creating the other 2 double crochets from the shell. So that's how I'm going to be doing here for my little edging. And when you get here into the double crochets, you can decide if you guys want to do single crochets or half double crochets or even the double crochets itself, just as the previous row. That's going to be up to you. I wanted to do this part a little bit tinier, so it looks like a finishing edging here, like a hemming. So what I'm going to be doing is creating single crochets, but we are going to be following exactly as we were doing before, and also creating the increase as well. So you don't want to miss the increase. So we are going to go into the first double crochet right here, and we are going to be creating a single crochet, and then just going to be running a single crochet row all the way down. So I'm just going to show you guys how I'm going to be doing the increase. You can see there is increase. So on the first one we are going to be creating the increase, so 2 single crochets into that stitch. So now I'm just going to be continuing, guys, all the way until my next shell. So I'm just going to show you guys the picot again. When you get right on top of the shell on the chain 2, we are going to be creating 2 double crochets, a chain of 3. We are gonna go back into the first chain right here, right at the back of the chain, and then we are going to be slip stitching that in place, and then 2 more double crochets. And that's how I'm going to be doing here for the edging for my hem. I'm going to be doing the same here, going all the way across here, this row, this very last row, and then I will be back to show you guys what to do next. So when you get here at the end of this row, we are gonna go right into the chain 3 here, the very last stitch, and then we create our last single crochet. So right here now I'm going to chain 1 and fasten off. So this is how it looks like now with the little edging here that we've created all the way across here the bottom. And if I measure the dress here for you guys, so from shoulder all the way down here, it's around 43 centimeters. And it's basically the same size of this dress here. It's the same length and everything, as you can see. So now we can get a tapestry needle. Just gonna get one here and a little bit of the yarn, this color right here. So now we are going to be sewing here together at the back. If you did going around, then you don't have to do this, but if you did exactly like what I did, then we are going to be sewing here close. So first you want to make sure that you know where the buttons are going to go. So I'm gonna do in one row, skip 2 and then into the next, skip 2 into the next, skip 2 into the next. So I'm going to be closing from this row right here all the way down. Make sure that you choose one of the sides to be the reverse and also the right side. This one right here, it's my right side. So I'm going to be turning here the dress on the reverse. So I'm just gonna place a stitch marker just holding these two here together. And right here. So I'm going to be doing with the dark pink, where I have the dark pink part, and then right here I'm going to be doing with the light pink. So I'm just gonna thread my needle right here with my yarn. I'm also going to be using a double yarn here on my tapestry needle, and right at the end right here I'm going to be making a knot and cutting the ends off. So right here where the stitch marker is, I'm going to be inserting my needle right into that stitch, and also here on the other side as well. And we are gonna go through that stitch, just leaving a little loop here at the end. So I'm just gonna go through this loop right here just to fasten off here at the beginning, so we don't have to do any more knots. So now we can start sewing right here, and you just wanna make sure that you do match every single row going down right here and sewing it together. So when I get here into my very last stitch right here, I'm just going to basically fasten off. So I'm just going through my last one, go through the last one more time, create a loop right here, go through the loop, and you can fasten off and weave in your yarn right here. So now for the rest here of the sewing, I'm just gonna grab my light pink yarn. I'm going to be doing exactly the same sewing and also fasten off and weave in right at the end. So now we are just gonna do the little finishings. So here the waistband and the little finishing going around. Here the little sleeves, and also here right at the top. I'm gonna do one of the sleeves with you guys. So I'm going to be creating here a slip knot, and we can attach into any of the stitches going around here. So I'm going to be attaching right on the bottom, just under the armpits right here. Right here, go through that stitch and attach with a slip stitch. This yarn right here we are going to weave in already when we are doing the single crochets. I'm going to fold the sleeves. So as you can see, it's nicely folded. You want to choose one of the stitches from here at the top of the shoulders. I'm going to be choosing this one right here. So I'm just going to be creating single crochets until 3 stitches here before the stitch marker. So right here. So now we have here 3 stitches before the stitch marker. You're going to be doing 1 single crochet into the next one. Then you're going to be skipping 2 into the one here from the stitch marker. You're going to remove the stitch marker, and then right here we are going to be creating 3 double crochets, and then a picot. So you're going to chain 3, go back into the first chain and slip stitch, and then 3 more double crochets right here. So this is just a little detail right here on the top of the sleeves. So now we are going to be skipping 1, 2 into the third one right here. We are going to create a single crochet, and then from here we are going to be continuing with the single crochets all the way down to join the 2 parts here together right here. So you guys can just find the stitches when you get here towards the bottom, as you can see, just to create your single crochets. I'm going to be creating one right here, and then I'm just going to be connecting right here with this side with a slip stitch, and now we can chain 1 and fasten off. Just gonna cut my yarn right here and fasten off, and I will be weaving in all of these yarns later, as I showed you guys before. So now I'm just going to be repeating exactly the same into this sleeves right here, and then I'll show you guys what to do into the neckline right here and the back. So I finished now here both of the sleeves, as you can see, and we are going to be now just running a single crochet row all the way around to the front and then all the way to the back again. So you guys can go ahead and attach into any stitch that you want. Here with the slip stitch, you're going to chain 1, and then right here we are going to be starting with our single crochets going all the way around. If you guys have a little hole like this, what you guys can do, just grab a little stitch from this one and then just do a single crochet with that one. You see it closes a little bit the hole. On the side right here we don't really have stitches, so I'm just following here the double crochets. You can already see that I'm following. I'm doing 1 in between the double crochets and 1 on the sided double crochet right here. That's how I decided to do. When you get here in the neckline, you can see that you already have the stitches, so you can just follow the double crochets from the previous row and create your single crochets. I'm just gonna repeat this all the way around now, and then I'll meet you guys right at the end. When you guys get here at the end, you're just gonna go around here with single crochets as well. If you have to go twice into the same stitch, you can. I'm just gonna do 1 more right here, and then I'm just gonna slip stitch both sides here together. So now I'm just going to chain 1 right here and fasten off and weave in my yarn. If you want to do also a little finishing right here, you can. I'm not gonna do for this one because I think it has already a lot of detail, so I'm just gonna leave very simple here at the back. So I'm going to be sewing all of my buttons right here in place now. So I'm just going to thread my needle. I'm going to be using a single yarn only, and then I'm going to be making a knot here at the back first. So check where you want the first button to be. I'm going to be doing it right at the top right here. So you go to the back, you want to go through a stitch, and then right here you want to make a knot, and then you're going to insert it through the back and you're going to move it here to the front. And now we are just going to be sewing here the button in place. So get your button, go through one of the holes, hold that in place and just sew it together. I'm just gonna go through the button here twice. You can go as many times as you guys want as well. And then I'll move here to the back and I'm going to fasten off. And once you've done that, you can just choose any of the stitches from this side and use as a little housing for your button. So what I'm going to be doing now, guys, is just do all of the other buttons here. So I'm going to be skipping 2 into the third one, skip 2 into the third one, skip 2, and then right here, right at the end. So that's how I'm going to be sewing my buttons, and then I'll be back with you guys. So as you can see, I finished attaching here my buttons. So for the little chain that goes around the waist, I'm going to be using both of the colors. Create a slip knot, and then from here I'm going to be starting my chain. I'm going to be doing a chain right here, and then I'll let you know how many I did at the end. So I've done here a chain of 160. Just to check first, if I need I can just undo a little bit. So I'm just gonna go into any of the stitches here from the side at the front of the dress. I'm gonna go right here. You can always change it after as well, and I'm just gonna go through in a zigzag motion all the way around. So now before we fasten off the chain, you just want to pull the chain a little bit just to go around, because it's going to be a little bit more cinched in right here. And then we are going to be creating a little bow right here on the side. And then now is the time that you can choose the sizing that you want. So this one is a little bit too long, so I'm just gonna undo probably that much, and now I'll check again. Still a little bit too big. So that's how I usually do, guys. I always start with like 160, because that's the best way that you'll know if it's gonna fit the project or not. Okay, I think this one is enough now. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to now fasten off. I'm going to be creating a little tassel here for the end of my chain. I'm just gonna use here my fingers, kind of my hand right here. I'm not gonna go around very tight. I'm just gonna kind of just go around it like this for a couple of times. That much. And then you're gonna cut one of the sides right here. I usually cut the top, and then you just wanna separate the same amount for both sides. So I did 6 little pieces for both sides. If you're wondering here the measurement, they are around 16.5 centimeters. You're gonna get one of these little groups. You're gonna go through right here at the end of the chain, and you're going to be passing all of these yarns right here through that very last chain right here. Make a little loop, and then you're just going to be passing all of the ends of the yarn through that loop, and then you're just going to pull the ends nice and tight. So now you can go ahead and do the same into the other side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut all of the ends off right here. So if I measure that, the tassel is around 3 centimeters. Just gonna go ahead and do the same into the other side. And this was the very last step for our little dress. As you can see, it looks super cute. Guys, I'm in love with this. I wanted to have a little daughter now so I could try on her for you guys. But I'll have my little model modeling for me this dress. So soon I will have on my Instagram and Facebook for you guys to see how this dress looks like on her. But yeah, this is how the little dress looks like with all of the tiny details. That's the front, and this one right here is the back of the dress with the little buttons, and the skirt is so full and it's so beautiful. I love this so much. But yeah, guys, this is everything for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and also make sure that you share with me if you recreate this little dress right here. And also don't forget to subscribe here to the channel so you guys can see more videos like this one. And also make sure to give this video a massive thumbs up. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see you soon on my next video. Bye bye, guys.